Fabinho. Your goal should have stood. What do you make of the crap refereeing this weekend? Craig Pawson, those players.
Alright, so firstly, addressing the Haaland one because it's the one most fresh in my mind. I don't think that's a foul. They're both jostling for the ball. Haaland's moving back. He barely gets Fabinho by his shirt. Fabinho goes down like a Saka bricks. That's too soft, if you ask me. That goal should have stood, right? But as you said about the other decisions, yeah. When does it end? When does VAR finally do its job? Right? We see VAR refereeing decisions made in France, in Germany, in Italy, in Spain. And while sometimes, yeah, they may be wrong, they don't happen with nearly a quarter the level of frequency that they do in the Premier League. Maybe every 3 weeks in those other leagues. But in the Premier League, it almost seems like every game there's a VAR controversy. All we want as fans from this system that they implemented into the game is consistency. If it can't be consistent, then it makes no sense in the game. Right? Of course, it will prevent some cheats and it will prevent some stuff. Maybe Maradona wouldn't have won the World Cup. Maybe Holland wouldn't have gotten to that semi-finals, aka the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Right? But we just want consistency as a fans. We don't need a system in the game that is fully flawed and no one is willing to fix it. Honestly. Just address the issues, please, so that on the last day of the season, if there is a title race that close, and say Arsenal are supposed to be given a penalty, clear penalty, and the referee says no, that the referee's decisions can be looked at VAR and said, hey, no man, you got that all wrong, that is a penalty. You get me? We don't want to see, I'm sorry, that decision was wrong after I look back on it after the match. No, we don't want to see that because that's not helping anybody after the fact.
Like with Everton last season.
Exactly, that's not helping anyone after the fact. But apologizing ain't going to save a team from relegation after the fact. Right? Once the league been done and dusted, apologizing to a team that should have been given 6, 7, 8 penalties throughout the season that could have arguably saved their campaign. No one's going to want to hear, oh, I'm sorry, those decisions were wrong from the FA. No one wants to hear that. So please, enough of my ranting, but please just address VAR.
Yeah,
especially before the World Cup. Please, I don't pray there's no English referees.
There is one. Anthony Taylor will be at the World Cup. The only English ref, Anthony Taylor, will be there.
Oh Christ! Don't put him in charge of VAR, please.
The problem is there's nothing wrong with the technology. Just the people who use the technology, they're the problem, and they don't want to be known as the problem. But I really don't want to talk about them right now. I mean, VAR gets on everyone's last nerve. Really, really spoils the sport now. You have to wait a while before you celebrate. It's really disgusting. But speaking on other good news and for Merseyside fans, I mean Everton really look good. I mean, we all had Frank to get sacked early, and he's fought off all the doubters. He's outlived a lot of managers. He's still here. He's got Alex Iwobi playing like prime Clarence Seedorf. He's got Coady and James Tarkowski looking like Maldini and Nesta. I mean, how is Lampard doing this?
Let me tell you what, I think it's just a boosting confidence in the manager. They believe in Lampard, they believe in his tactics, they believe that he can show them a thing or two about football. Yeah, I was one of the people that had it to go down. And to be fair, a part of me still thinks it will go down because it might just, for all we know, this could just be a little bit of rising form, you know? Now I'm saying a little bit of oomph, and then it just goes all downhill from there. This is typical of another English legend who shouldn't even be a legend in my opinion. No shade. But I think he'll get. I don't want to say he'll get the sack because if he doesn't, then I'll just look like I just look stupid. But don't be surprised. Don't be surprised.
Yeah, and another thing in Everton is that Coady was there on loan, the Wolves captain. There's actually a buy option for Coady, and it's around £4 million. And he's been playing fantastic ever since he joined. I mean, they've got to make that deal permanent, shouldn't they? They've got to make that deal permanent. He's been absolutely world class since he's been at Everton. He's just so good at this point in time. I mean, what my thing with Everton is not just playing well, but they've been playing so well without a number 9 for majority of the season. I know that Calvert-Lewin's back. I mean, I knew they brought in Mbappe, but they've been looking so good, and I would just hope the form can continue because I actually have them finishing mid-table.
They have been really impressive, to be completely honest with you. Like no problem. Like honestly, really solid team right now. You know, like we can't really take anything away from them. But yeah, they should be made permanent 100%, I believe so. But yeah, credit where credit is due. From a relegation battle to being safe in the top flight, so far so good.
Yeah, and sticking with blue, I mean, Bukayo Saka, they said it's only a matter of time before he signs his new contract with Arsenal. However, Chelsea have emerged, you know, Graham Potter likes the player. Todd Bowley would throw multiple, and when I mean multiple, I mean a lot of dollars at Bukayo Saka to try and get him to Chelsea. As well as, not just that's blue, but locally, the North Street is blue. For those who don't know, we had that segment a while back, Kingston College, St. George's College. The derby game, 4-2 winners, St. George's. They took over North Street. I mean, firstly, Saka to Chelsea. Is that possible?
No chance. I'm not even gonna hype it up. There's no chance that happens. Right? There's no way Arsenal want to lose their young man, their star, to an opposition. No matter how much money they throw at him, I don't think that's the I think that he stays, and I think that he'll make the most of his career and time at Arsenal before probably getting a transfer.
Yeah, I mean, Saka is supposed to be the face of that club for years upon years to come. But, you know, and just the final thing before we just turn over to you. The Bundesliga is not really the Bundesliga at this moment. I mean, Union Berlin is currently top, and they've not been the best team in the league by a long shot. I mean, does Union have a chance to actually win the Bundesliga?
No chance. I'm not even so ashamed. There's just no way. Absolutely no way Union Berlin win the Bundesliga. And there's just too much other good team at the helm right now that can do it. And honestly speaking, right, from even a neutral point of view, it is amazing to see another team be in the front runner. But honestly, Union Berlin maybe finishes mid-table, but they won't be top. Sorry, training Union Berlin fans, you know.
Yeah, and just final thoughts before we go into a quick break. Gavi won the Kopa Trophy over Camavinga, Musiala and Bellingham. Was that deserved?
Honestly, it's hard to say because while exciting, Jude Bellingham deserved that 100%.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, that's where I'll leave it.
Koady, if you're live and
Thank you for staying with us. Savage had to go with an emergency, so not sure if he'll be joining us back within the remainder of the segment, but I shall be here. Firstly, I was going to leave this until the end. I have to speak about my New York Yankees. My baseball team. The Bronx Bombers is not really bombing anything at the moment, so really, really disappointing. Down 3-0 to the Houston Astros in the ALCS. It's very, very hard to watch. Fought so well to get past Cleveland in the American League Divisional Series. And now we're in this position where we're about to get swept by the Houston Astros, who only have 2 players really performing well, apart from Pena and Yordan Alvarez. They don't really have any other players who are doing well for the team. I mean, but the Yankees are just really disappointing. I mean, when you have a man like Aaron Judge who broke the home run record in the American League, you got Giancarlo Stanton who knows how to hit them deep, you got Gleyber Torres who you see doing web gems in the field, Cabrera, it's just really weird as to why they're losing, why they're not performing at a level where they've been doing all season. And I know the regular season is much different from playoffs, but they don't really have that. They don't really have that Mr. November like when about 10, 15 years ago when Derek Jeter was still there, when Mr. November took over, even when the team was absolute shit. I mean, it's a really sad sight to see what's going on with the Yankees. I was really expecting a 7-game series, a really entertaining series going back and forth. And we know the scandals with Houston, the sign stealing, all of that jazz. But you can't keep going back to that. You have to actually beat them now to say, we can do this. It's really disappointing what the Yankees are going through. And I really can't stand it. But to another American sport, just finished watching my Dallas Cowboys play. It's a good win, 24-6. Prescott's back. Not really a fan of Prescott, so I'm not really that enticed over it. He got sacked a couple times, did some foolish plays. We won the game thanks to Ezekiel Elliott, and the defense was freaking fantastic. Micah Parsons, Durrance Armstrong Jr., Williams, Anthony Barr, they were so good today. CD Lamb did some clutch plays, so did Tony Pollard, but this team can go places. This team can really go places. The problem is, will they be able to go places when it does come to crunch time? When it's they're not playing Detroit and teams like that. When they're playing the San Franciscos, the Green Bays, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, will they still be like that? And it's very hard to tell. Is Prescott good enough to put them over that hump? Is McCarthy the coach to be there? Both answers for me are no. But, you have to work with what's here. The team can do much better. The team could always sharpen up. The penalties have drastically gone down. People don't want to mention it, but I did say when Randy Gregory leaves, we're going to see a huge difference in the defense. And I know he didn't contribute all of the penalties. And I know we're still having issues with penalties. Looking at Terrence Steele, he was also a problem last season. Always committing holding penalties, always false starting like that. He's still doing that. Something to work on again. But for now, the team does look good. I mean, we lost to Philly due to a bad first quarter. Apart from that, Philly was nowhere close to being the better team. Nowhere close. They were crap for 3 quarters. They turned up 1 quarter and just didn't do anything for the rest of the game. Cooper Rush was good. He was good for the games he was in. He went 4-1. People wrote us off, but when you're in Jerry World, anything is possible. Nothing you can do can stop us, man. Next, wow, the European Super League. Well, this I don't really want to exert any energy on. That's gonna be back. They've already sent up a new executive chairman for the league. I can't really say I'm against the Super League purely because it would seem hypocritical when the PGA Tour was against the Live Golf Tournament. I'm actually backing the Live Golf Tournament because the PGA Championships are so far apart and the top golfers don't really have that real competition to go up against. I'm thinking this is good for competition, but when it comes to for football, there's a lot of games. Say, for example, you play for a Man City or a Man United or a Liverpool this season, you're playing close to 50 games. Another competition will just make you play even more. It will cause injury to the players, fatigue, long-term things. With golf, they usually have a tournament every month